What you're about to see is very disturbing.
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
I love you. Go ahead.
Go ahead, hold passion.
This hand.
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
be good. Yeah, let's
All right.
go.
That is wrong. That is just wrong. And it should never be happening in this country.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
What's good, my people? It's your boy in the building, MC Too Tall, master of sound quality, your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, and you're watching the MC Too Tall show. And, yeah, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, there's a cat in the room. Hey, Mikey. That's Mikey, one of our new additions here. But anyway, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say the donkey in the room, because the elephant is the animal symbol politically of the good guys, whereas the jackass, or should I say the jack serpent, isn't. So let's talk about the jack serpent in the room. What you saw in the beginning of this video, it is just wrong. You know it is just wrong. You're forcing kids into things they never want to do. You're leading them down a path to a miserable life, a miserable adulthood. Hurt people, as they say. And we need to keep these monsters, and that's exactly what they are, monsters, away from the children. Gotta save the children. These are the type of people that'll call themselves cat mommies and turn around and become baby-killing sluts while dating cat-eating savages. Baby-killing sluts while dating cat-eating savages. You heard me say that. I don't mince my words. That's what I call people like that. And then they'll have the gall to call themselves cat mommies while putting cats in danger. They'll put themselves in positions to teach the children while they kill off the unborn and damage the already born. That's where they want to lead society. And I have every right, every adult, both parents and non-parents, have the right to speak on how children are raised. They have the right to speak on it because we're all going to get old someday. God willing, we keep our health, but just in case we don't want to go under the knife of somebody that was raised in an education system like what we saw at the beginning of this video. It is just wrong, people. It is just wrong. Speaking of poorly educated people and total dummies, would you believe there is support? There is actual support for Zoran Mamdani. There's that many dum-dums, that many protruding forehead having short buzz loving idiots that want to support Zoran Mamdani. Would you believe that? And it is just wrong. And you actually have people supporting Andrew Cuomo. Watch my cat's reaction to the name Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo. See, he's walking off. He doesn't want to hear it. He hates Andrew Cuomo. This cat was born just a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago at best, right? And he hates Andrew Cuomo. He's going to take a swing at me if I keep saying that name while holding his face up to mine. But anyway, yeah, Andrew Cuomo is just wrong. And that's the cowardice approach to not wanting Mamdani in City Hall. But the real approach to wanting a correct and proper New York City is to simply elect somebody who is mayoral and should be the mayor of New York, Curtis Sliwa. It's pretty obvious. I've said it before, I'll say it again. This is a man who's put his life into public safety since 1979, while Andrew Cuomo was a snot-nosed kid barely getting out of Florida Mew by the skin of his teeth, and Zoran Mamdani wouldn't even be born for another 12 years, and when born, not even of this country. Under Zoran Mamdani, this city would be under the bare brown foot of oppression. This entire city will have people in power that will tell the entire white race of New York, it's your turn to be the slave. And there are actually white people who believe it's the white man's turn. It's the middle-aged white man's turn to be the slave. That white people my age, 40s and 50s, whatever, should be somewhere out of the New York inner cities and out in the hot Carolina sun picking indigo and cotton. That's what they want. That's what other white people want of Gen X aged white men, to be out on the field picking cotton because there's some crazy notion that it's the middle-aged white man's turn to be the slave. It's a stupid ideology. It should be nobody's turn to be the slave, regardless of color. Just because I don't want to be a slave, that doesn't make me an elitist that's going to point at somebody black or brown and say, make him a slave. But white liberals, people same skin tone as me, will try to flip it, stab their own in the back, and say what they know is a lie. And say that Gen X aged white men who refuse to be slaves are racists that want other races to be slaves, knowing that that is a crock of shit. And they'll tie in my anger and outrage, justified anger and outrage, at the video that I showed you earlier in this video, and they'll tie that in with wanting to have black and brown people be slaves. They'll tie that into white people, middle-aged white men believing they are born to be masters of every other race. Whoever believes that is an asshole. It's as simple as not wanting children indoctrinated. It's as simple as not wanting anyone to just be free labor or to labor for far less than what they're worth. That's why it hurts the illegal immigrant just as much as the rest of the country when there's illegal immigration, because the illegal immigrant is getting paid far less than what he is worth. I'm against companies paying people less than what they're worth, no matter where from the world they are from. Excuse me. And if these illegal immigrants are given citizenship, but go through the process of assimilation to earn that citizenship, then they could be paid what they're worth. And who's not for sticking it to the man? Let's be real with this. Who's not for sticking it to the elitist, insensitive, cold-hearted, soulless, elite Democrats? Those sons of bitches. There ought to be a law against widespread liberalism. There ought to be a law against it. Or actually, an unwritten custom to not let too much liberalism spill into the country. You know, you could have your few nut jobs, because let's face it, as an artist, I could tell you, I've met my share of nut jobs out there. Total freaking loons. Okay, if they didn't make it as artists, they would rightfully be in a padded cell someplace, writing letters to their long deceased mothers on those padded walls with crayons between their toes, because their arms and hands are restrained in a straitjacket. That is just what it is. But we can't have them overrunning everything. We can't have these loons running over everything, because they'll make stupid laws where everybody has to have motorcycle helmets when they ride their motorcycle, that the official regulation design would be like a jack-o'-lantern. If you're not wearing an insulated fiberglass jack-o'-lantern on your head, then you should get fined. This is some of the weird stuff these autistic types would have. These are the same people that believe that it's okay for two underage 10 boys to kiss in front of the school with the encouragement of all the teachers around, with a male teacher going, "All right," as if their bro just scored a hot chick or something at a frat party. And you're talking about little kids. There's something wrong with that. There is something wrong with that. And something has to be done about it. Some of these people have to be fired. Some of these people even have to be thrown in jail. They definitely, by any means necessary, have to be taken away from the children. They're in no position to be around children. I'm in more position to be teaching children than these scatterbrains and scalawags. And I could only stand so much time around kids, to be honest. It's a fault of mine that I tried working on, but the loudness, the rambunctiousness that I don't have the patience for. I could teach about history. I could teach them about the necessity of having God in your life. But as far as having to explain why it's wrong to climb drapes or do an entire art piece on a school wall without the consent of the staff, it's like I don't have the patience for that. So I do know this, though. With the little that I can do to enlighten the mind of a child, I'm more worthy of being around children than these idiots that are child grooming. Because all I would be doing is teaching a little bit about American history and the importance of having God in your life, with a little bit of Bible study. I believe children's Bible study is a necessity. And if there was children's Bible study, and if these two kids were in a children's Bible study, they wouldn't engage in anything like that, at least not at that age. At least not at that age. You want your kids to be kids. You don't want them worried about who's going to shun them, who's going to shame them for not kissing other little kids. And that's whether or not these are boys or girls. Kids have to be kids. They can't be sexualized. They can't be heterosexualized. They can't be homosexualized. They just can't be sexualized, period. You see a little boy, put a friggin' baseball in his hand and teach him how to throw it. You see a little girl, you teach her how to hem a dress or boil water or something. Or something safe like that. You don't teach the little girl how to shave her head down to a mullet and smack other girls on the ass and say, "Hey, Toots, looking great." You get where I'm going with this. And see, and Mikey, in his very young life of only 4 to 6 weeks, he knows that. Why can't you? This is a beautiful creature and a creation of God. And so are our children. And we have an obligation to God to protect those children. Otherwise, where is your respect for God? You have to respect God in this life for a better afterlife. There is an importance of a better afterlife. And with that said, I say unto my people, respect God, watch out for the Illuminati, like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. If you have a cat, love them with all your heart. Stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building. hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero, your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross, MC Too Tall. Hug a cat today.